my site, The Knotted Truth. I'm Patricia Faidley, and I'm here to share my story. Our truth gets twisted over time. It really does. The way that things are moving at a fast pace, and change is happening all over the place. It's hard to keep up with change. It's hard to keep focus on good things when so many bad things around us are happening. We are being inundated with bad things, thoughts, and negativity all over the place. All you have to do is look out your window. Somewhere there's a negative something. And, we're being programmed to believe that's the only existence out there. That's We don't have a choice. And we obviously do. So many people have given up because, you know, they keep trying and they work very hard. Some people work very hard, 40 hours a week, 80 hours a week, and they earn minimum wage and they barely have enough to eat. And they have no time left for themselves, for life, for their marriage, for their children. When you ask yourself what it is that you are here for, do you really know? God has put us here for a reason. Every one of us. Back in the day, I didn't know I had a purpose. I knew nothing about what a purpose was. Most of you won't. But I can tell you, you're attracted to me here today because I brought you here towards me through vibrating at a certain frequency, because we are all energy. And energy attracts like energy. And we will get deeper into that as we go along in the Knotted Truth. If you stick with me weekly, you will start to understand and be able to unravel some truth in your own life as well. God is good, my friends. We must connect with our source. Whoever that may be for you, God is my source, and that is where my energy comes from. God has been there all along in my life, and I'm sure He's been there in yours as well. It's not for me to say what part of the journey you are on, but I know my spiritual journey has been a blessing to me in the past 9 years. I know that I've come to know a lot of things by studying and being mentored by some very well-known people. I, too, have formed my own perspective on life. And the Knotted Truth is going to allow me to give my perspective. And again, it's my perspective. It's how I see it. It's how I've lived it. It's the truth. I'm not going to bring anything to you that's not the truth, that I don't feel is the truth. It's not a debate. It's my life. It's my story. So I'm glad you're here and I'm glad you're listening. And every Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time after April 15th, which is today, and we'll meet weekly, and you will grow. And just bring a notebook and open your windows and just clear out your space and quiet it down and be ready to experience some free knowledge that I've spent many, many, many thousands of dollars learning this information and training 24/7 to reprogram my brain. Because honestly, my friends, you're living on your own belief system right now. Your belief system may not be what my belief system is, and I'm sure it's not. Some people everybody has their own belief systems depending on how they were raised and who they were raised by and who they were influenced by in their lives. It's not your fault, but we're like little baby computers, and there's nothing in us when we're born, and whatever we learn is what our programming is, or don't learn for that matter. You can look at your results in your life and see that you probably need to grow. You probably need to move forward in some way in order to change what it is that's going on. Because if you continue to do it over and over again and get the same results, well, Einstein said that was insanity, right? Well, it is. It's common sense. We all have it. I don't think the world is using it. And I don't know, somewhere along the way we gave up as Americans, but I'm here to say it can be different, and we can get our positive minds back, and we can take control of our minds, because I guarantee you, if you don't take control of your mind will take control of you. Something has to go on, and either you're living out of habit or you're living to live and growing and learning new things. The school systems teach you only to a certain point. But if you look back in history, your parents, I mean, back in when I was a child, we didn't have microwaves, we didn't have cell phones, we didn't have computers. We had nothing, okay? If I'm living in the same belief system as my parents, how would I grow? Because the world has changed since then. So we have to grow. New information, new technology, new ways of doing things. We have to think outside the box. Outside of the box is where life is. It's very exciting when you get outside the box. Everything is outside the box. Your dreams, your goals, your visions. I want you to start creating all these things, because you have every right to the gold as everybody else. And this world can change if we take our thoughts back. Our thoughts have the ability to vibrate clear across the universe, just like a cell phone signal. Our thoughts have the ability to receive and transmit. We'll get into that. Every thought you have and allow it to come out of your mouth goes into your vortex of energy in the universe and comes back as like energy to you. Our thoughts are powerful. If you're always in a negative vibration, and it's not your fault, because, well, it is your fault because you're watching the TV. You are programmed to think that that's your relaxing evening, that that's enough for you. You're programmed to think that that's all the energy, which it probably is, that you have to watch TV every day when you're off, because you're so tired from working. But you don't have to have life that way. You could do what you love every day and it wouldn't be stressful. And it would be exactly the way you want it to be. And you can have that in your life, but nobody tells you how, do they? So you go back to the mundane, inside the box way of thinking, and you get a job and you work 40 hours a week and you die broke and you get one vacation a year. And if that's living to you, then fine. That's living. But to me, I want to grow. I want to experience life. There's places I haven't seen. There's cultures I want to know about. There is beaches that I want to travel. I love the beach. I want to work from the beach. That's my goal for now. I want to work from the beach, and I'm working on it. And I will get there, and then I will have a bigger goal than that. It's always something. You just keep building and building until you build whatever it is that you want, and you paint your canvas. It's no different than taking a white piece of canvas and getting your paint out and start painting your picture the way you want it to be. If you get into a relationship with someone, get into the relationship because they fit into your dream. If they don't fit into your dream and they have to change to be in your dream, then they're not for you. We can't change people. That's the bottom line. We can't change people. We have to be who we are and find that soul match that matches everything, and it just blends, and nobody's giving of anything they don't want. That's when it just works. It just works when you don't have to fight for it. Life is the same way. When you stay in flow and you stop fighting the current and you get in flow with what God has for you, and you start listening to the voices where God is in your heart, and stop listening to this little guy and start to reprogram your thoughts, because what you take into your conscious mind, negative or positive, once you place emotion to it, goes into your subconscious area of your mind, and that is what we act upon. That's what we know. If you want to change that, it's possible, but it takes a lot of work, and it's worth it. Well worth it to do the work on yourself, to explore what it is that's holding you back from doing the things you love to do. If you get up every day and you hate what you do and you're just doing it to die because you're going to retire, and what's the government going to give you lots of money? Because I doubt it. So what is it you're waiting for in life? Okay? What do you have to lose? Because, the naughty truth is all about having faith. I have had faith since the day, I can't say that. Um, I have believed in God because I am a Catholic and I was raised that way, and I went to Catholic school in the beginning and then I moved to public school. But through the journey of self-development and through the journey of my mentors and the people that I've followed in the last 9 years and learned from, I have found some things in my life that I can reflect upon and look back on and see that God has been winking at me for a long time. And the reason I see that is because of an experience that I had when I lost my job, and I had to find another way. And sometimes that's how it has to happen for people. They have to hit the rock bottom. They have to be knocked down so hard that they feel God's presence. And that's what I did. I got on my knees and I cried because I had 5 people to feed. I had a house to pay for. I had about $5,000 a month in bills. And that may not sound like much to other people, but that was a lot for me at that time. And I didn't know what I was going to do, so I got on my knees and I felt like this burden was on my shoulders, like it was so heavy. I was carrying it around. I was getting tired. And I asked God to take that off my shoulders. That's what I asked for. I asked Him to lift that burden off of me and give me peace, because I'm not going to be able to make it if I don't have peace. God gave me peace. At that very moment, I felt something lift off of me, and I have not felt that weight again, ever. I was able to work an entire year without a full-time job and pay all my bills. How it happened, I don't even know. But it happened exactly as it was supposed to happen, and I followed it. And I told God that day that I was on my knees that I would follow Him wherever He led me. Just lead me where I got to go. And He did. And where I'm at right now, in the position that I'm at, was also a God wink. I went through a period where I had to look for something else. I had to find something to do. So I got online and I started to investigate real estate. And I went out on a limb and stepped out in faith for the first time because I felt God pushing me to real estate. He pushed me out on the limb and I spent thousands of dollars to learn real estate. I traveled around. I flew to places. I attended seminars. I did everything that I could possibly do so that I could pay back my debt. I still didn't have a job and I had to do something. So the more I tried and the more I did, the more I was provided for. Sometimes I don't even know how I did what I did, but I did it. Right before I lost my position, I also had a florist that I had just closed before I lost my position. And luckily I did. That was a God wink as well. I ran the florist and it did okay, but I had it open for 2 years and I realized that's not what I wanted to do. I didn't want the overhead and I didn't want to have to pay people and I didn't want to have to be somewhere. That's the whole point. That's what I'm trying to alleviate, is having to be somewhere, having to work for someone else when you can do it for yourself. Become your own person, who you want to be. It's possible. But first you have to believe that's possible. And you have to see yourself as doing something different. Because I can tell you this, if you go in the same process as you are right now, no matter what level in life you're at, if you do that for the next 6 months, do you really think that anything's going to change? You really have to think like that and get deep within yourself and start to awaken, because the world around us is sleeping. It's a difficult world to grow up in for children. Our children are being taught things they can't use. You look back on the generations, it's not the same. Technology has changed. Our children are into video games. We think they're bad, but you know what? It's technology. They're probably going to need that technology in the future. I can pretty much guarantee you that they're going to need to know what they're learning on video games. The world is as bad as we see it or as good as we see it. It's perspective. It's how we view our world. You know, we only live within like a 4-foot bubble of ourselves. We don't go outside of that 4-foot bubble. Most people don't travel around the world. They're not multicultural. They stay where they are, and then they have children, and then they stay where they are, and then they stay where they are because their children left. And then, you know, by then they've wasted all this time and didn't do anything to enhance what God gave them. God meant for you to be abundant. He gave you a seed. Each one of us got a seed. And if you provide value for someone and you lift someone up, God said He will lift you. Sow your seeds, my friends. You be kind, others will be kind to you. Happiness is an inside job. I've learned many things and tried many things. And the best thing that has happened to me is my faith. My faith in God is so strong. And I love the way I feel. I love the space I'm in. Even though it may sound crazy to other people, but it's a good space in these times. And I don't watch TV. And I suggest you don't either, because that's how they're programming people to believe certain things. Our brains are like tiny computers. If you put bad programming in, you can have bad programming and you won't succeed, or you can have good programming and you will succeed. And good programming comes from tuning in to people like me or other people. I'm not saying that I'm the only person, but people who are sharing the light and not the dark. Stop tuning into dark things, because the more we tune into dark things, our thoughts get messed up. And whatever we take into our conscious mind and put in our subconscious mind is what we bring out in the world, is what we reflect to everyone. And I don't want that for my son. And I don't think anybody wants to be this way. And I don't think anybody wants to be asleep either. But if you ever go to the store or out in public, there isn't a person that's present in this world. They're in their own little circle of life. And that's all they know. To me, I want to experience things. I want to enjoy the rest of my life. And if you do, Join me on the Knotted Truth weekly, and I'm going to share some things. Next week, we're going to talk about attitude, and I'm going to tell you, it's essential. Attitude is everything. A bad attitude, you won't have a job, you won't have success. A bad attitude's not going to make you wealthy. You may get it, but you'll lose it. You know, you can choose what it is you want to take into your mind on a daily basis. Do yourself a favor, take a notebook and a pen and bring it on Wednesday evenings after tonight and jot down some information from me. These will be weekly and maybe a half an hour to an hour long, and I hope that you join me. I have a lot to talk about. And this is also going to be for my son as well. Everything that I'm doing right now is for him as well. It benefits everybody. You may understand me, you may understand someone else. It doesn't matter as long as you understand the information and how it gets to you. And it's important for me to go on video and do these things and share with you because I know it changes lives. I know that if you implement the things that I'm going to share with you, your life will change for the better. It has to. It's the law. It will. Join me next week when I talk about attitude. I think you're going to find there are things that I talk about that are going to give you some aha moments about your attitude. Stay tuned. God bless. Wednesday evenings, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. TheKnottedTruth.com. Take care. Bye-bye.